Welcome. This is the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys. And today we're covering the state of Vermont and talking about what's going on in the state of Vermont for reproductive technology law. And we've got three fellows to introduce you to today. We have another fellow that's licensed in Vermont who couldn't join us today, but I'll give you the information on how to get a hold of everybody at the end of the video. So if we can start, Kurt, if you'd introduce yourself, please.
Sure. My name is Kurt Hughes. I am an art fellow, and I've been practicing law in Vermont since 1985. And I've been practicing in the area of assisted fertility, I don't know, probably 20 or 25 years at this point. I helped to form a matching organization in Vermont called the Vermont Surrogacy Network. And also in 2018, I had the pleasure of being on the committee that drafted Vermont's new parentage law and helped to shepherd that through the legislature. And we passed that July 1st of 2018, and it's made all of our lives a lot easier.
Great. If anybody ever sits down and watches all of the videos of all of our fellows, they'd be amazed how many have been involved in the legislation, in their statutes, in their states. So it's wonderful. Michelle, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, so I'm Michelle Tarnelli. I'm also an art fellow, licensed in Vermont and New York. I actually got into this work. It was a natural extension of doing adoption work. And I got into adoption, wanting to work with Kurt Hughes and being adopted myself. But yeah, I just went into law school, really wanted to help families, and I'm really grateful to do this work.
Wonderful. A lot of us want to work with Kurt Hughes too, but not all of us get to. All right. And Casey.
Oh, hi, I'm Casey Cops-DePaula. I'm also an art fellow. I'm licensed in Vermont, but also in New York and New Jersey. I also have a surrogacy program in New York Surrogacy Center. And I got involved in this area because my mom was an adoption attorney and actually a fellow of Quad A. And then I kind of expanded our practice into the area of assisted reproduction and surrogacy.
That's another area. If everybody listened and tried to figure out who's related to who and how many family members there are, there's a lot. The legacy is big in this area of law. All right, team, let's talk about Vermont in general. And is it surrogacy friendly, Michelle? Is it a go-to state for reproductive technology?
Yes, absolutely. As Kurt mentioned, it is a very surrogacy friendly state. Kurt helped draft the legislation, and yeah, we welcome anyone in Vermont.
All right, so Kurt, when Michelle says anyone, is it LGBT friendly? Are there any concerns if you are a single intended parent?
Yes, it's very LGBT friendly, and single parents are fine. And also the genetic makeup of the embryos doesn't make any difference. We work with couples that have no genetic connection to the embryos, or, frequently one of the couples, we use donor gametes. So pretty much anything goes here.
Casey, everybody wants to know, they always want to jump to the end, right? The parentage part of things, skip the contract, skip all that. But timing wise, how complicated is it in Vermont? Does it take a long time to get a parentage order? Is it a pre-birth process? What does that part look like?
Yep, so there is a pre-birth process, and of the 3 states that I'm licensed in, it's definitely the most efficient, the quickest, the easiest. Almost never a court appearance, so all done on the paperwork. And sometimes we get the orders within a few days. I don't think I've ever had one take longer than a month. So definitely an efficient process in Vermont.
Great. So everyone, is there anything else about Vermont that we want to highlight or make sure the world knows if they're looking at Vermont for surrogacy?
Well, I think in being a small state, as Casey mentioned, so the courts are super efficient, and we have great relationships with Vital Records and with all of the hospitals here. So it's a team effort. It's great to have the support from Vital Records and the hospitals and the court system.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've been listening to Casey and other my colleagues that practice in other states that will remain unnamed, but it seems like that a lot of places it varies from county to county, depending on what judge you get. And I think there's a lot more uniformity here in Vermont. And what I'm finding too is a lot of times when judges will get one of these for pre-birth parentage orders for the first time, they'll frequently reach out to me to see how to do it. So for the most part, it's really easy to do, as Casey said, and does not require a court appearance, with some very limited exceptions.
But even without a court appearance, Casey, lawyers are critical still in Vermont. It doesn't change, the ease of Vermont does not change the need for the three of you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely still need an attorney to walk you through this process. And one of the other great things about Vermont is it's a small legal community within this practice area. We all know each other, we get along, we work well together. So that's a nice part too about working in Vermont.
Excellent. Well, all of these fellows are willing to speak to you at any time. If you're looking at Vermont as an option, you need to contact one of them. You can reach them by getting their contact information on the Academy's website. The Academy has a map. You can narrow it down to Vermont, or you can search any of their names within that map, and you'll receive their contact information. The website for the Academy is www.adoptionart.org. And I know they're all happy to speak to you, and I appreciate everybody's time today.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks so much, Kim.